Hey, all Kick here from the Emerald Minecarts. Welcome back to another review, and this is actually a special review, not a normal review, not even a double review. This is a goddamn triple review. Oh yeah! Oh man, that's cheesy. But anyways, you're probably wondering why am I making this triple review? Well, it's for compensation about, well, as you can see, I had to make new assets, a new background, new stills. That's because my terabyte flash drive decided to start corrupting new files I put in it for no reason. This is an issue I've had before, and it could only be fixed with a computer reset. And usually, that causes me to have to lose a bunch of work and assets and stuff, and yeah, it's not fun. So I tossed I wiped the terabyte flash drive. I tossed it in this little box I have in my closet, and I plan on getting a new one for my birthday. Or I hope I get a new one for my birthday. But yeah, so as a way to celebrate these new assets and stuff, I'm gonna put more work on myself and make a triple review. Why do I do this myself? Well, it's quite simple. It's quite simple. It's because I hate myself. Yeah, jokes aside, or I just Yeah, I'm just messing with my microphone settings just in case if anything's alright. But yeah, start off episode 12. The pros, the cons, and myths. So before I explain the first pro, let me note that in this episode, Jun and Blue Cup are split up doing separate things. Jun and his friends go to Crest's house because Crest invited them, and Crest totally isn't being a bit suspicious in this episode, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that. While Blue Cup is doing this simulation training to get better, and so he can hopefully beat Wild Guardy. So yeah, so both of them are doing a simulated related thing. Like I mentioned, Blue Cup is doing like the simulation fight, while Jun is playing against Vance in this VR robot fighting game, which looks pretty good. So yeah, so there's a scene that shows like both of them getting their booties handed to them, and they can getting their asses kicked multiple times. Funny thing with on Blue Cop's side, Megan Trucker steps in and is like, "Step aside, Blue Cop. I'm going to show you how it's done." He immediately gets his arse handed to him, and even gets shot in the arse, which you would probably imagine doesn't feel good. So yeah, that got a little chuckle out of me. It was funny, but this is obviously followed up by like the two slowly improving, which then leads to Jun linking up to Blue Cop with his emotions, which is where we learn that Jun can give Blue Cop a power up by linking to him through emotion, which is how it was shown. It's kind of hard to explain. You'll just have to watch the episode, but again, the series is free on YouTube. So, there's that. But yeah, this lets June beat Vance in the VR game. And also, like, besides giving Blue Cup a power up, it gives him a new finisher, which is essentially something from frickin' JoJo. Like, he lets out a punch that then turns into multiple other punches. It's really cool, and I really hope the other characters or other card bots get these power ups because it would be really fun to see like what the other power ups could be. But yeah, but this also gets the attention of Crest, specifically when Blue Cop is talking to Jun on his metal breath. Which, speaking of Crest, and a plot twist that or a twist that I also saw a mile away, we see that Cress is working with Wild Guardy. And again, I saw this a mile away because, well, in the episode Cress was introduced in, we see him in a card that looks very similar to a certain CardBot. But yeah, this didn't really surprise me, but yeah, obviously, uh, Crest is trying to get the middle brace so Wild Guardy can have it so he can have control over the other metal card bots or specifically boss them around. Which usually in stuff like this when like there's someone after like the MacGuffin that is supposed to go to the chosen one, it usually doesn't end up going well for the person trying to steal the item of importance of the chosen one. Well, from what I've seen from these chosen one stores, anyways. But yeah, now for my cons and mids. Surprise! I have no cons and mids. This was once again another pretty good episode. So yeah, I give this episode 7 out of 7 stars. So yeah, quite like this episode. Now on to episode 13. Alrighty, episode 13. This is the episode where we are introduced to a brand new metal card bot, and you won't believe what his name is. And also, when I say that, I don't mean that as like a bad thing. I generally do like his name. But yeah, anyways, the pros, the cons, and mids. First off, the pros. Our new metal card bot. Now, before I say his name, I want to mention that the names for metal card bot so far have been stuff like Blue Cop, Mega Ambler, Heavy Iron, Shadow X, Wild Guardy. Well, this new card bot's name is Dexter. Yes, his name is just Dexter, not Digger or Groundman or Shovel Lord or anything that's construction related because, he is like an excavator. It is just simply Dexter. And I absolutely love that this guy's name is just Dexter. That is amazing. I love that he's not given like a cool sounding name like the others. His name is just Dexter. And I love that. I love it when we get characters like this that they look all cool and stuff, and then their name is something like John or Bob or Nicholas. I love stuff like this. So yeah, Dexter is our newest metal card bot. Like I mentioned, his alt mode is an excavator. And I really like how his alt mode looks, with the excavator, or the part of the excavator, or yeah, the part of the excavator where someone would drive said excavator being where his eye is. I also really like that detail. It looks cool. I also like his roll-up mode. It also looks cool. Uh, Another thing to know about Dexter is that he's essentially a environmentalist. He hates all the construction stuff that humans do, so he essentially hides in the fog and is in his vehicle mode and uses the excavator part of his vehicle mode to make it look like, oh, it's a scary monster, ooh! Which, little side note, we get to see where Edo is showing our Colonel Carbot's a monster movie, and some of them think that it's real, and then Edo turns off and is like, don't worry, it's just a movie. And then Jun runs in and is like, hey, are you all ready to do some monster hunting? And you can hear all of them say, monster! And it then cuts to them hiding. It's just, oh my god, I just found that so cute, because it's like, hey, you all realize that you are all 18 feet tall robots with powerful weapons. I'm pretty sure you could handle a monster. I'm just saying, but yeah, I found that scene really funny and honestly kind of actually, yeah, I found it really adorable. I love it when it's you see this character who's all big and strong, and they're scared of something that wouldn't be a big deal to them. But yeah, anyways, really do like the design of Dexter. And now my one con. Jun leaves Mega Ambler to fight Wild Guardy. So Wild Guardy and Dexter get into a fight, and this ends up with Wild Guardy slashing Dexter in the face, which blinds him, which, yeah, obviously being slashed in the eyes usually is blindness. But yeah, Jun has the bright idea to just leave Mega Ambler to fight Wild Guardy, which, we saw what Wild Guardy did to Blue Cop when they last fought, so I don't know. Look, I know Mega Ambler is obviously armed, and he can of course heal himself, but still, did you not remember what he did to Blue Cop in the previous fight? Well, yeah. For my mids, I have no mids. This was another episode that I quite liked, although again, I was still baffled. Jun, why did you leave Ambler, or why did you only leave one metal cardbot to fight Wild Guardian? Again, you saw what he did to Blue Cop. Yeah. Anyways, I give this episode 6 out of 7 stars. And now, finally, on to episode 14. And finally, we have episode 14, the episode where Dexter finally joins the side of Jun and the other metal CardBots. Well, after the fight, but besides that, yeah. Yeah, the pros, the cons, and the mates. First off, the pros. The fight scene. The fight scene between Dexter and the other metal CardBots was pretty good. It starts off between Shadow X and Dexter, and this is where we learn that Dexter essentially has the ability to know where his enemies are through sound. So this leads to Shadow X having his arse handed to him. In fact, in the fight, Shadow X almost gets his crotch drilled in, which, look, I know obviously the middle card bots weren't made anatomically correct, but it doesn't matter what you are. Anything hitting you between the legs will always hurt, and you could probably imagine that a drill going into your groin area probably wouldn't feel that pleasant. So yeah, I found that part really funny. And then when Jun summoned Mega, no, not Mega Ambler, Fire Phoenix, this is where Jun realizes, wait, Dexter knows where his enemies are through the power of sound. And like when Jun realizes this, he's like, Phoenix Fire, use your hammer! And like Phoenix Fire hits the ground with his hammer multiple times. Then after this gets Dexter out and he blasts Dexter with his water cannon. Jun then lets out Mega Ambler, which Mega Ambler is able to deactivate Dexter's drill arm. And then finally, Jun summons Blue Cop in to finish him off with the powered up version of Blue Cop's finisher move, which again is awesome. It shows like multiple punches hitting Dexter. It's so JoJo. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Besides that, fight scene, really good. Quite like it. Next up, Dexter's Metal Card. This is something that I forgot to mention in the previous segment, which, my bad. But yeah, his Metal Card is this drill arm thing, which can shoot out a laser drill beam, which is pretty freaking cool. And also the way like it folds up back into its card form is also pretty cool. I quite liked it. But yeah. And finally we have the ending of the episode. The ending of the episode is actually quite wholesome because like they show Dexter that, hey, humans actually do care about animals, and like they show him like this section where it's like under this road where like the animals can cross safely. So this is like basically showing Dexter it's like, sure, humans may destroy habitats, but they don't completely ignore the animals. Just be lucky Dexter doesn't know about PETA, because if Dexter knew about PETA, he would probably go on a genocide. I'm just saying. But yeah, the ending was really wholesome to this episode. So yeah, quite liked it. Really wholesome. So yeah, those were my pros. Now for my cons and mids. Surprise! I have no cons and mids. This was once again another pretty good episode. So yeah, I give this episode 7 out of 7 stars. So that was it for this special triple review. Don't expect any other triple reviews anytime soon. Well, unless it's like something for like a physical product, then maybe. But if it's like something like this where I review multiple episodes in one video, do not expect me to do this unless I'm doing like a retrospective or something, because these videos usually require a lot of editing time. So yeah, there's that. But yeah. Yeah, that was my review of episode 12 through 14. There are some pretty good episodes. Obviously, episode 12 and 14 were given 7 out of 7. Well, episode 13 wasn't for one of the reasons I mentioned in the con for episode 13. But yeah, next up I'll be reviewing episode 15, and then after that will be episode 16, which means there will be 10 more episodes until I'm done with season 1. So yeah, hopefully, when I finish season 2 eventually, season 4 hasn't came out yet, because I also need to get to season 3, and I really, really can't wait to see Sachi in action, or Tachi, however you say her name. But yeah, yeah, that was it for this review. Make sure you all subscribe and like for more, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, home guards, and goodbye!